Welcome to this Sunday's garden video where it's absolute carnage. There is power tools and my laptop on the kitchen table. My garden looks like a construction site because I was cutting wood if you saw Thursday's video. But I have tea. Also, exciting things happening this week in the garden. There is chicks. So I'm gonna insert some footage. I didn't see them today when I was out. Oh, Toffee's on the window. Hey T, door's open, you can come in. My nerves are gone this week because the two robins that have been in the garden have chicks. And the chicks, one of them got caught in the greenhouse. I don't know how. Thank God the door, I think the wind may have opened it. I don't have like a latch on it or anything. And he must have just gotten in. And I don't know how long he was there. I don't think it was too long because I had come back from my walk and I just saw something moving next to the seeds. Thank God I seen it. And I was able to get him out, but I did have to scoop him up. I did have to like go like this with my sleeves and scoop him up. And I was afraid that, I know if you should never touch a nest or the eggs because the scent of you will make them abandon it. Is that true? Or I'm not sure. But I think when they're a chick, it might be okay. But the robins, the mum and dad robin were in the garden and they watched me rescue the chick. And thankfully afterwards, because I was like, oh no, what if they like reject him? And I'm like, I'll have to feed him. I was trying to coax him out with mealworms, but he couldn't take them from me because he was opening his mouth. He wants to be fed by parents. So anyway, long story short, I got him out, or her, and they were darting around the, good Toffee in the window, the tree. So obviously there's lots of ivy and there's some like logs and stuff and lots of places for them to kind of hide and be sheltered. So the two lads were just dancing around there yesterday. I've been leaving out some mealworm, I left out some extra water, and I haven't seen them today, but I have seen the robins taking some of the mealworms and flying over the wall. So unless the chicks flew over, the chicks can fly, but they don't see them. Because I was like, there's a cat in the garden, get up off the ground. But they've touched wood, they're okay. But they don't seem to be able to fly super high or for super long. So their little wings, I don't know. But I was like, yes, the robins have a little family, a brood. And the statistics for robins are not too good. Apparently 40% won't make it till their next year. So I was like, oh, just willing them to do well. So I'll keep an eye if I see them in the garden today. I'll show you them. If not, I just have those little clips. And the Blackbird hasn't, he's still here. And I actually got some footage on my phone this morning. It was not very great footage, but the female Blackbird was having a bath. She was having a good old time in the bird bath. I've noticed that I kind of have to clean out the bird bath a bit more because there'll just be like leaves and debris in it. So I'm like, surely that's not clean drinking water, but it's obviously from them having a bath. So I'm gonna cut the grass. I'm gonna plant up some foxgloves and snapdragons in the corner from last week at the pond, and I'll show you around. A lot of the daffodils need to kind of be deadheaded now. They're starting to turn. The weather is still on the nippy side even though it's sunny. I'm gardening today because tomorrow it's to lash rain. So that's all my updates. So the garden is looking just a little bit of a construction site. So I was working off these benches, but I wanted to share that, remember last week I left out the bits from the pond. So I cut back the dead grass from the pond over here and I left a big bunch, wasn't it? It was quite a bit. And I've been watching the starlings all week just come and go and take them, and this is all that's left. So it actually did work. Also, the grass now has lots of daisies. I think it's over a week since I cut this, but oh, sorry about the wind. It is very windy today, so I'm going to give it a trim. I'm leaving this patch over here where the crocus was. So there is the foliage for the crocus. And there's lots of, what's this daisy called again? Creeping buttercup, I think. Creeping buttercup. There is clover in this, which I think flowers later in the summer. And there is dandelions. So I'm going to leave this patch to just grow a bit wildy, and I'll see what happens. Some random chunks. If you're wondering, oh God, I was doing a very random screen test. Was to do a garden segment on Ireland AM. Totally random. I don't think I'm going to get the call back. We will not worry about it. But one of the things I was given a demo about, I wanted to show, like just mention about, like, you know, cutting grass and the dandelions and the daisies and stuff. So I cut a chunk out of my grass for the demonstration. So I just put some grass seed in this little patch. It'll grow back, don't worry. Actually, my bits are over here that I was using in the demo. Some of them are my own. So I potted on some cosmos. So these have gotten a little bit leggy, so I tried to plant them a bit deeper. And I think once there's a bit more on this, I'm going to pinch it out, because if you look at this one has lots of side growth and there's more flowers on it. And if you look at these, excuse me, they're more leggy. So when there's a bit more growth, I'm going to pinch them out, and then hopefully it'll go more bushy like this one. And then what else have I got? I potted up one of my teasels to use as an example. So what I have for the corner, that I was saying last week, I've got 3 foxgloves here, and I have a tray of snapdragons. Now I do have some snapdragons from last year in a bucket, and I think I might relocate some of them. So I'm going to do, I absolutely love snapdragons. Snapdragon is the common name. I think they're called antherinums, or, oh actually it's on the thing. Anterinum. Yeah, definitely not going to get a call back for no garden segment because I can't even pronounce the names. But if you see these in the shop and you're like looking for the name snapdragon, I've noticed that they're called this in the garden centres, but they will grow into lovely snapdragons, and they grow nice and tall. And the bees, when you see them going into the flower head on them, it's like they open I don't know how to describe it, but if you just Google a flowering snapdragon, you'll see the shape of the flower and how the bee will come in, and it's almost like he gets the petal and pushes it down and then goes into it. Very fascinating to watch come summertime. And I have another lupin. So I also have a lavender. I was using this as an example, but I think I'll put it into a pot. I do have some lavender in pots over here. I tend to put them in pots because they don't really like my soil. And this is flowering lovely. This is a saxifraga. Again, not the pronunciation you're here for. So yeah, garden is looking nice and green and just a bit messy. The tulips there's a little bit of life left in them, but you can see they're starting to go, but they still look absolutely beautiful. I'm after getting, I'd say, about 3-4 weeks of just pleasure out of these. These ones are gone almost, so I'm going to wait a little bit and then I'll just deadhead them back. And then these ones are the ones that I was saying are not as good as last year, but you know what? They're not dreadful. They do look pretty. Some of the pink ones have nice strong stems on them, like this one. And then it's just some of the other ones are not as good. And then I have a couple of tulips then in buckets over there. Oh my God. Also, hang on, I need to go around the wheelbarrow. Apple blossom tree is in flower, so I need to get all of the pollinators into the garden. But look, loads of flowers. This is a coronet, and it's a like a self-pollinating one. Karen always likes because I leave the tags on them. So this is the, I think, variety. So there's a red and a green apple on this. It's one of these trees that pollinates itself because there's 2 varieties on it. Remains miniature, fruits in its first year. I got this last July, I think, and so did Karen. We bought it when we were in the Arboretum. I think they were like €30. and it has gotten bigger. It gets, do you know what, it gets a lot of wind here, so I think I might need to move it, but at least the branch might build a bit of strength. But yeah, I just had a bit of a support, but I don't think is it. So there is loads of blossoms, so hopefully if these can be pollinated by some bees, I will have some apples this year. Very, very excited. Never grown apples. And here is some snapdragons from last year. I thought they were an annual, but they seem to kind of come back every year, so that's great. And here I notice I have some self-seeded saxifraga, the one that's in the bucket over there. This is a little self-seeder, and it even has a little flower as well, which is great. And then every week, Brunnera Jack Frost just gets bushier and better. I always say this, favourite flower, plant a big clump of it, you will not be disappointed. So around here is where the chicks were. I've also noticed a lot of the ferns have new growth on them. Actually, this is new growth as well around the base. This time of year that looks a bit chompy, but once the new growth grows on it, it'll be looking lovely. So yeah, I noticed the birds were kind of dotting in and around the back there. There's lots of ivy and there's a couple of bits of wood that's like rotten, and there's like areas for them to hide. So they've been around this tree. I think their original nest is up there somewhere, so that's where they have been. So it's a bit quiet at the moment in the garden, but no doubt when I start moving things and doing some jobs, the robins and the blackbird will be inspecting and seeing what worms I am digging up for them. Actually, before I go, these are my little, I know they're disgusting, these are my mealworms, and I've been leaving them, typical, on my freshly painted chairs, pooping on them. I can wipe it away, it's fine. These are the mealworms, and the reason why I have them here is because I want to get the robins comfortable eating food beside me. I still want to feed them from my hand, but when I sit here and I'm just either, if I'm on my laptop or if I'm reading a book, they will land there. So the goal is to just get them comfortable, and then maybe they'll feed from my hand one day. Last little update actually is the potatoes. God, I planted these so deep and they are flying. They found the sun, they found the light, and that is a strawberry there that needs to be replanted. But potatoes are absolutely flying, so leave them to it. If you notice any kind of white bits, I think it's from when I was cutting wood in the garden. There was like a bit of dust from the sawdust, and some of the plants got a little bit of dusty. have just made 2 sweet pea teepees. Sweet pea teepees. The wind is a bit ferocious today. I have put the sweet peas onto the new sticks, hoping that they will just quickly grow around them and not get blown away into the wind, but I can check on them over the weekend. So I just had a gap in this corner, so I decided to do 2 bunches of sweet peas. Sweet peas are annuals, so they're not perennials. They'll probably self-seed, which is great, so I just thought I would do them in there. I have the origeron here, I think that's how you pronounce it, and when this is all bushy and full, I think it will look really nice. So I have 1 batch of sweet peas in the greenhouse that is cooking away. They're the smaller, oh god, oh there goes my heart. I told you the wind was ferocious. I think I need to go and lock up, but I have a couple of sweet peas on the windowsills with the zinnias, so they actually need some sticks, so they need to probably, do you know what, I'll probably get away with bringing them outside. I think I'm going to do, actually, something I noticed, the dahlias are coming back. The frost did not kill the bad boys just yet, so I left them in over winter, and some of them are showing signs of coming back. I just gave them a thick layer of mulch. So far I can only see two, yeah, 2 so far. I think there was like 10 in here, but listen, 2 out of 10. The other ones, there's still loads of time for them to come back, so we'll see if they come back soon. The weather is not on my side today. I think that rain and wind is incoming, so I'm going to end it there. So that's all I got to do. I didn't touch the front garden this week, didn't even cut the grass on the front. All of those lovely yellow daffodils from a couple of weeks ago, they all need to be deadheaded. Didn't touch it. I might actually do some tomorrow off camera. Oh, I'm delighted with the bits that I got planted out. Definitely, hopefully next week is a bit warmer. We are almost approaching May and it's still a bit nippy. I don't remember it being this cold last year. I remember April being nice and mild, and you know the drill. If you're new to my channel, check out the recents, check out the Cottage Garden playlist if you like what you see, subscribe, welcome. For my regular viewers, how are you getting on this week in your garden? And I'll see you in the next one.